Alright, so the rod's cooled, and now you can see that the end that was doubled over is about 1 inch longer on the one side than the other. So the little bearing block that we made, you can slide over inside of the bigger hole, and you push it on so that way the one end goes into the 3/16 inch hole, and it sits kind of like that. What we're going to do now is put threads on this part, so that way the adjusting nut that we bought can get threaded right on there, and that's going to put the pressure on the truss rod, which will make it bend the strings back. So we'll show you now how to go ahead and put threads on here. Now we're going to go ahead and put this in the vise, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the two pieces a little bit just so that way I have some clearance when I put the die on there. You need to crank it in. You need to crank it in really, really good. And the reason you need to do that is because you're going to be putting a lot of force on here. So I've got my die in there, and I chamfered the end on here just a little bit on the belt sander to kind of help get it on there and get it centered. So what you want to do is you want to put it on, and you don't want to push very hard at first. You just kind of want to get going and cut a few threads. And this is a little bit slow of a process if you haven't done it before. You just want to go slow because you don't want to break the die that you have in there. And what that's doing is it has a set of teeth on it that's starting to cut into the metal. And what it does is once it actually cuts into the metal, it just goes ahead and puts a thread pattern on there for you. So get this around. Alright, now we're starting to dig. So just go through for a little while. You'll see the shavings falling off, and that's fine. Just keep going through. What I'd like to do is put about 1.5 inches or more threads on here. So that way there's plenty of extra threads for the adjusting nut to grab when we torque down the truss rod. And it's just better to have a little extra just in case they don't hurt anything. You just don't want to thread, 3-4 inches of the rod because it's a total waste. But alright, so we're getting down. We're probably a little over 1 inch right now. We're making it through. And we're probably there. I'm just going to do a couple more turns just for the heck of it here. Alright, we're starting to hit the other rod here. Okay, so now we got it all the way down. Nice fresh set of threads here. And with any luck, that baby goes right on there, nice and easy. And that's what we want. So take this off. And go ahead and slowly back this out. You're going to blow on a little bit too, make sure you don't have any metal chips in there. They're going to get into the thread as you're backing it out, because you don't want to gum up the threads. And go ahead and back this guy out all the way. It's nice and easy on the way out. Alright, so we got a good portion of that threaded, and we can take it out of the vise. And we can see that it goes over just a little bit, which is fine, because once this guy gets on, then we're going to get plenty of extra threads under there for that to bite on. One other thing I forgot to mention on this, that I'll cover now, because there are going to be threads traveling through this bottom hole here, you don't want them to get caught up. So what I do is I take a regular old countersink here, and I do it by hand. I just put it into the hole nice and straight and give it a few turns, and what that's going to do is it's going to chamfer the ends on this thing a little bit, the inside and the out, so that way as you're pulling threads through here, they're going to hit that curve, they're going to hit that bevel rather, and they're going to go right on in instead of hitting it and getting hung up. So this isn't really the best thing in the world for your countersink, so you may want to use an old one, but doing it once in a while really isn't a big problem. And again, I just do it by hand so that way I don't pull off too much material. I just want to give it a little bit of a bevel so that when the threads go in and out of there, that's not a problem. And there it is. So the entire truss rod assembled. Get that on here. So the entire truss rod assembled looks like that. And that is the way that it'll sit in the guitar as well, with the adjusting nut on the bottom and the free rod on the top. So your route in the front needs to be the same height as here, and your route in the back near the headstock needs to be the same height as here. So this is about a ½ an inch, right around there. Probably a little shade less than a half, because this is 3/16 times 2, plus there's a little bit of a gap in there. So that's about a half. This is going to be just slightly more than a half, plus a little bit extra for the top on here. And like I said, this whole piece will be sunk into the surface of the guitar when we do it, so it's going to be pretty inconsequential, and we'll make a nice little cap for the top of this. And that is a truss rod. Again, this is 6-gun guitars. This is the electric bass series of videos. And keep looking for more, because the bass has got to be done by Christmas. So hopefully we'll have a whole bunch of videos up there by Christmas as well.